one thing which we can really agree about is, like, how people say if you shoot a film in Europe, it will anyway look beautiful. So in India, if you shoot anything in Kerala, it has to look good. I mean, such locations, yeah.
We all agree that they are technically brilliant. They are technically miles ahead, and it just I actually am. I just pity myself that why didn't I catch on so many movies while growing up also, Malayalam cinema.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Cinema Hall Podcast. We are coming back after a gap of 2 weeks. Sorry for that, but this movie was so powerful, so impactful that we had to make a podcast on this. And today, in Now Showing, we have got Kuruthi, which is starring Prithviraj. It's apparently the first movie I've seen of Prithviraj after a long time. The last film I saw in which he was there was Aurangzeb back in 2014. That was a Hindi film in which he also did a great job, by the way. So excited to talk about Kuruthi because nobody of us, or maybe not a lot of people, would have had those kind of expectations from that movie that one probably had with Malik, or maybe with the Sarpata, Parambarai, or other movies which were hyped. So this was kind of like a dark horse, and we just went in without any expectations, and we were blown away. In little words, Sneha and Farhad have joined me. Thank you guys for joining, and I believe that you both enjoyed the movie as well. So, Sneha, I'll start with you. You just finished watching the film an hour ago. So, uh, first thoughts, Kuruti, mind-boggling, intriguing.
Oh, I think I'm still processing the movie because it was so good. And I think one of the best parts was that I went in without any assumptions, any expectations because मैंने कुछ भी नहीं देखा था, not even the trailer. So I knew a movie like this was releasing, but I did not know entirely what it was about, not even the genre. And I went in with like a blank slate and I was blown away. And I think I'm gonna have to watch this again because बहुत छोटी छोटी details थी, dialogues थे, which was so good. And that's the thing, like the movie picks up its pace from like 25 minutes. हाँ, I think yeah, like 25 minutes के time frame के बाद it picks up the pace. But वो 25 मिनट में भी जो होता है, it is so important in establishing what will happen
Yeah.
in like what will happen next in the story. Every dialogue, every scene is so crucial for setting up the story. So I think very well written, very well directed, and it was amazing. I think like abhi tak ki meri is saal ki favorite movie probably. Yeah.
Wow, that has overtaken Joji.
Yeah, it has because I think the plot point that they've used in this movie is very relevant to what's going on in our country right now, and how they have decided to show that on screen. The characters that they've used to show that is very intriguing, very relevant, and very intriguing.
Yeah, I mean, Farhad has already written its review on his own website, Popcorn Reviews. The link you can find in the description. So, Farhad, like just continuing from where Sneha left, the commentary on religion and faith was so effortless and so tastefully done. I mean, uh, there's not a lot of times which you will find maybe in Bollywood or other film industries of India where they would handle such a delicate subject effortlessly like this. But kudos to a Malayalam filmmaker for doing this time and again, because in Malik also they handled this subject very delicately. So, your thoughts?
I mean, I don't know. At the cost of repeating myself, I would say I don't know what do they have for breakfast. Every time you feel, every time you feel that they cannot surpass their previous best film. I think they do it with ease, or probably match it. This is so. If I have to talk right from the very beginning,
And
Unlike
also,
Sneha, yeah.
just to cut you off a little, it's not even that the same people or same team is coming up with great content. It's different directors, different writers, different set of artists who are, and it's a very healthy competition. It's not like it's a rivalry or there's some uh, envious sort of thing going on. But everyone is doing such great job that they're setting a benchmark with every new film coming, every Malayalam film coming every week.
I think, yeah, at the end of the day, I feel that they are their own competition because there's nobody who's near them. That's what I think. And with all due respect to all the other industries, okay, and I am big fan. I'm a big fan of Tamil industry, Telugu industry, and also Kannada industry, along with Bengali, Marathi. I like all of that. Also, up to a certain level, Bollywood was a fan, okay, but the thing is that they are far ahead. The Malayalam film industry is far ahead, and you have to accept that reality. I mean, it cannot. I don't remember a single bad movie that I watched of Malayalam. It is that good. So coming to Kuruthi, that is there, unlike Sneha, I actually had watched the trailer, and this is a simple technique, that one thing you must know how to cut the trailer, and here they did exactly that. They did not reveal anything in the trailer. I mean, I for one, I after watching the trailer, I thought, is it another serial killer movie? I don't know what is it. It's being touted as a political drama, but it doesn't seem political from the trailer. And that was a smart part, as Neha said, that from the first 25 minutes, it was a slow build up, and that was actually establishing an important connection in the movie, if you can grasp it. Of course, it's if you are aware of the film making technique of Malayalam film industry, there's no spoon feeding here. You have to use your own intellect. So that if you can latch on to that, what they're trying to show, I wouldn't want to give any spoilers. And other than that, definitely it is very relevant in the times that we live in. I mean, it is like a mirror. This was a mirror. This is how you behave with each other today. No matter how much we say, yeah, we are united, but some sections, not generalizing, but some sections do that without pointing out to anybody specific. This does happen.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
we saw glimpses of this in Patal Lok and glimpses of this in Family Man as well. If you remember the season one where there's
yeah,
in one
correct.
episode. So Bollywood has tried to do it maturely, but I think the way these guys have handled it, I think kudos to them. Hats off to them. And one thing that really remained with me, like a couple of things actually. The first one is, uh, at the middle point, around the middle point, when that the eldest person in the house, he gives his commentary on hatred. How hatred is that element, that human emotion that really separates people between us and them. That is so powerful. I mean, that after finishing the film, these couple of things stayed with me. And uh, I mean, the hatred, I think that's probably the strongest human emotion out of whatever you can feel inside for somebody else. And how they narrated that whole backstory of how mankind started, when a brother kills another brother for the thirst of blood, because of that revenge and the hatred. So that blood sort of flows in everyone until now, and it's in everyone's veins. So now, coming to how they actually implemented that into this film, that was commendable, because it's one thing to do a lot of preaching about these things, but it's another to weave a story around it and then to be able to execute it. So Sneha, I think both director and the story, the script writer, both of their jobs would have been so difficult to first, plot a story around this whole thing, and then to be able to tell it in a screenplay, or in a way that people do not really feel that we are getting preached. We don't feel like it's a kind of a boring documentary on things what's happening in India right now. So How did you find this whole execution of the idea?
So I think first of all, kudos to Anish Pallyal for like writing this movie, and and I also am very curious to see how this movie looks like on paper, because I think from like 20 after the first 25 minutes, every scene, every dialogue is like it just escalates the mood of the movie. So I think that is very difficult, especially if you're showing it in one setting. I think again, very smart filmmaking. It's just one house, essentially one house where they've shot the movie, and in spite of that, they've made it so intriguing. They've used all the portions of the house and made it intriguing. And also, the best part is that at one point, almost all the characters were in this house together, and how each of them how like each of their personalities came out with every scene, every dialogue. It was so interesting. And the best part, what I felt was like iski writing ka best part tha that you see so basically there's a grandfather who's like 70, 80 years old. He has a son who's like 30, 35, and then there's a younger son who's like a teenager. You've shown three generations with such like different opinions and ideologies, and it was just so intriguing to see ki like end tak it's just a younger boy who goes ahead with his ideology, and like I won't give out
It
any
was still,
spoilers.
it was still an
Everyone
open,
does.
it was an open end. We don't know what.
Yeah, exactly, open end, but exactly like
Everyone does.
and it was like Farad said, it was like holding a mirror. It is the youth of this country which are going ahead with propaganda ideologies, are getting so easily influenced. So I think it was very interesting to see कि कितने सारे different characters have different age groups and how their ideologies and faith is coming out. So that
I felt while watching the film, it kind of in parts reminded me of Joji as well, because of how the generations and one location, that house which was claustrophobic, and it was also a very important character in the film.
it's one female character,
Yeah,
just
so
one female
a lot of
character.
similarities between Joji and this. So and also it reminded me of Mulk, if you have seen that film, because there also how this guy gets brainwashed, and then so there it was again Hindu versus Muslims, which was told very very well. Probably one of the very few movies in Bollywood that has been able to do it so well. So I think once you put Joji and Mulk together on steroids, you get a Kuruthi. Farad, now talking about how the director and the screenplay writer or the script writer would have come together. Also, kudos to cinematographer. I mean, I think after having seen so many Malayalam films in the recent months, one thing which we can really agree about is, like, how people say if you shoot a film in Europe, it will anyway look beautiful. So in India, if you shoot anything in Kerala, it has to look good. I mean, such locations, yeah.
And not just sorry to add another thing, like not just Kerala, like even when it's dark, because second half of the movie everything was dark and in the forest. In spite of that, it was shot so well.
Yeah, so if
Everything.
we are talking about dark, so of course it's shot well, but then we should also commend the job of the DI artist, because
Yeah, yeah,
without color
definitely.
correction this wouldn't have been possible.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Farad.
I mean, I'm just speechless. I think whenever I come to the podcast of Keshav, each time we are discussing a Malayalam movie, or even for that matter, Tamil or any movie from down south, I think we all agree on the same thing. There's no, uh, point of discussion. We all agree that they are technically brilliant. They are technically miles ahead, and it just. I actually am I just pity myself that why didn't I catch on so many movies while growing up also, Malayalam cinema. There must have been so many more that I am not aware of as of now. I started watching it, I think, in 2016, and all of them have been brilliant. When you talk of cinematography here as well, the camera angles where you are fitting the camera in the sequences that were featuring on the roof or in the forest. or the final. Every time they know how to place the camera such that the tension is building all the time, and here the tension was escalating every minute, like Sneha was saying. The first so this is like a pattern that I've observed, maybe not in all movies of Malayalam, but some of them, that first, say 20, 25, even 30, 35 minutes, they actually set up the drama. They allow you to absorb the drama as much as you can, form your own opinions, check the dynamics of all the characters, and then it transforms into something which is unexpected. And here specifically, I felt the narrative style was almost like a Tarantino film. There was a lot of talk, lot of escalations while conversing with each other till the main action, that it was just a switch, similar to a Tarantino movie. If you've seen Hateful Eight, or even Reservoir Dogs for that matter, there was too much chatter with tension building. So this was a similar technique that I
But
could.
talking about how we missed out on so much of good Malayalam cinema when we didn't used to watch it. But at the same time, like in our last couple of videos where people were commenting a lot. By the way, thanks guys for the response to Sarapata Parambarai and Malik both for such overwhelming response. So in the comments, I actually found out that a lot of people are saying this is one of the golden phases in Malayalam cinema, but at the same time, also before the phase came, there were bad movies as well which existed, and that exists
Yeah.
everywhere. I mean, it's not like they will have 100% success rate because everyone cannot really
Mhm.
be a great filmmaker or a great storyteller. So I think maybe we are lucky as well that when we
Yeah.
started watching Malayalam cinema, they have been churning out, one after the other great film. Okay, the other important part which I really wanted to talk about and I loved. So this was kind of like an comparison and irony. So if you remember in one of the earlier scenes where Ibru is sitting outside the mosque after the prayers, and there's a what do you call that, Maulana is sitting there, and they're talking together. And so one of the things that he tells him is, whenever you are in doubt, you should pray. And then after in the second half, when the character of Prithviraj, he tells him, Layak tells Ebru's younger brother, when in doubt, kill. So, these two are kind of, extreme opposites from the same community, because, that was a Molana sitting outside a mosque who's a Muslim, who's preaching, who's giving you good advice. And then on the same hand, you have a Layak who's again a Muslim, but who's completely polarized, who is radicalized and trying to radicalize another vulnerable younger one in the family, in which he kind of succeeds as well. So, uh, Farad, what did you think about this sort of comparison? Because this can be one of those films which can also garner very extreme reviews from people, the audience as well, because I'm not sure if everyone would be welcoming of this kind of a film. People might have a problem with it. So what did you think of these two polarizing things?
It's definitely a perspective. I mean, they've tried to make it as balanced as possible, and the best part is, when you had said about Mulk, the one criticism that I had about Mulk was that it was a little too preachy for me. The intention was good, the messaging went across like fire, it was superb, but it was a little preachy at the end of the day for me. It got a little heavy. But here, as you said, they weaved around a story, giving all these perspectives. They haven't tried to, tell you what is right, what is wrong. Even if you see the end also is an open end, which it is up to the audience to decide whether humanity wants to commit, such mistakes again or not, or do they wish to change and be the bigger one and forgiving. So that is again the open end that they have left it. So they've not tried to say what is right, what is wrong, which is brings me to the point that it should be watched by maximum people, even if chalo there's no Hindi dub, or no other language dub other than the subtitles, English subtitles that are there. It should reach out to a larger audience simply because it will just give you a perspective. Whether you are right, wrong, according to your background, that is for you to judge. At the end of the day, everything is a perspective. Even right and wrong is a perspective. But if you are able to absorb that from the film, then that will be great. So I think the messaging that went across was amazing here without getting too preachy.
But if the message has to be felt, it has to go through the roof, and to a much larger audience. And thankfully, we are in the times that these films coming out on OTT, it's having such a reach that North Indians, including us, who have no idea
Yeah.
about the society, or how things work, the politics down south, but we are still consuming this content on OTT, and willing to watch Malayalam films or any South Indian language film with subtitles, and try to kind of get the vibe and get an idea. And the fact that it interests us is a testimony to how well the films are made.
So, like one of the best parts about the movie was whenever there was a dialogue about religion, faith, or belief, it was mostly coming from Musa and the grandfather, basically. And I think that was a very good perspective because he was the most experienced among the group. Like he's old and he's wise, and whatever he said made so much sense. Because like we all knew that Prithvi's character is like he's been radicalized and his opinions are extreme. So when dialogues like this, that you can teach like a man would not teach a person teach his kid to read, but he would teach him to hate. When a dialogue like that comes from an elder person, like an old person, it really hits you hard. And also like the juxtaposition, like right after that scene, how his son and the other kid, they're facing each other. So that's the thing, like it's not too preachy. I think it has just the right amount of messaging that this movie required.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to Manu Warrior and I forgot the name,
Ashish,
Anish
Anish.
Anish Paul.
Anish Pallyal, the way they actually were able to convey the message without being preachy, because this is a subject where people can actually get over ambitious, and they can get carried away, and the film might turn into a bore fest if it starts preaching a lot. This film was a perfect example of ethical dilemma. How you what kind of decisions you take, what kind of choices you make based on your relationship with God and what you think of religion, what you think of faith. And as Farad said, there's no right or wrong here. It's everyone's
and
own belief and choice.
and if I may add something, like this was established very well in the beginning. Like you said, the dialogue between Ibru and the Maulana, there's this portion where he asks that, I have a lot of doubt. And the Maulana says that, like, one of the aspects of faith is having doubt. And I think that doubt has been showed very well throughout the movie, right until the end, where he's contemplating that what is right, what is wrong. I have made this promise to someone, but I also have to save someone's life. So I think that doubt is shown throughout the movie and across, like throughout his character, his personality also.
Yeah, and I think the end was so heavy. That when Prithviraj tells him, the Layak tells him, whether you kill me or that other guy, what difference does it make? Whether you slit a throat or whether you s- what was that?
Stab me in the back.
Stab
Yeah.
me in the gut. So yeah, that was such a powerful thing, because even after that, by the end of the film, his doubt still remains. And I like the fact that they ended the movie with a very open end, where you can, according to your own sensibilities and how you perceive the film, you can now imagine what would have had happened.
And
Uh,
also such a great metaphor to end it on a bridge,
yeah.
like two people standing on
Mhm.
two ends, like beautiful metaphor.
Yeah, absolutely. Uh, just talking about the performances now, we are tired of just counting every single supporting actor, not just lead actors in Malayalam cinema, especially, and also Tamil. Like So here, I think Prithviraj, of course, he was expected to do well, and he has got the spotlight. But I think, for me, probably Roshan Mathew was so subtle, and without overdoing it, he was so effortless. So, what was your favorite performance of the film, Farhad?
Yeah, it was Roshan Mathew, definitely, and I have been following his work, from Choke, Anurag Kashyap's Choke, and then I went on to watch Kapela, which I highly recommend, guys. You should totally watch it. It's on Netflix. It's again a Malayalam film, which again deals with perspective. It's very interesting. You should totally watch that, Kapela. Then I watched Muthon, which is my one of my favorite Malayalam films from last year. It's a 5 on 5 for me. And he gave such a heartfelt performance, like slowly, like I think I'm becoming a fan of his work. Here again,
What about
such a conflicted character.
what about See You Soon?
See
Yeah,
you
see.
soon again. I totally forgot that. Yeah, see you soon as well. I'd seen you. Yes, yes, yeah, yeah. Amazing acting. I mean, and even the other supporting cast, Mahesh Gopi, the police inspector, such a small role, but such an impactful role. The grandfather Musa, even Tom Shine Chacko, who played Kareem, was second fiddle to Prithviraj. Amazing. Even that guy, Shrinda, who was the girl. I can just go on and on harping, but my favorite was Roshan Mathew, simply because of his characterization. Otherwise, performances, everyone was on par.
And I was stumped by Musa's role, because he he kind of he was the the pivot point of the whole thing, which was the glue. He was the glue which was really holding everything together. And his final dialogue, when he says, "I am the owner of the house, and it's up to me who
Gangster.
it's up to me."
Even the part when he decides to drive the car, I
Yeah,
loved that
oh,
sequence. Like it was like a serious moment, but also it was like so cool.
yeah, and putting on adult diapers and getting ready.
Yeah,
That was so well done.
Also dripped or something, wo bhi tha.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. It
absolutely.
was just amazing.
The final dialogue when he says, to Ibru, he says,
Anyone who enters my house, without my permission, I send them to hell.
yeah, yeah. So,
Also, the part about, the dump the genie, the whole sequence, like it was set up right in the
yeah.
beginning and it came back towards the
Guys,
end. And that's the thing, like
if you do not pay attention in the first few minutes, guys, you will miss out on a very important
yeah,
element
but
at the end. Yes.
every scene, every dialogue is going to come back
Yeah.
in some way. It's been set up in
And
a way that it'll come back.
and also one thing, I think the accident part that they've shown, since we are talking with mild spoilers here, the initial 20 minutes also had dialogue saying how he had lost his family to a landslide, you
Yeah.
know. So that was again a metaphor of how when a calamity occurs or something, people unite and help each other. That was also one messaging that had gone across.
I think that's why at the end Suma actually asked them whether we'll be able to be live together the same way before
Yeah.
all this happened or not. So, and it's I think what I liked about the film as a whole is by the end of the film, everyone's character has gone a 360-degree change. Everyone shows their dark colors, the true colors, as and when the circumstances, kind of compel them to change. It's not like everybody is having an evil inside them, a dark side about them, and it gets revealed. It's not like someone is pure, or someone is like a saint or something. Everyone has that, and it's good that it came out by the end in one way or the other. So yeah, so I think this was it about Kuruthi, and I hope that this film also gets the kind of attention probably Malik got, or the kind of attention Joji got, Great Indian Kitchen got, because it is right there in that league. For Sneha, it has already surpassed Joji, and it's her favorite film of the year now. But I think since there were a lot of similarities between Joji and this film, I can give it to Sneha. No worries. But only I just hope by the end of the year, Fafa comes with a movie which surpasses this as well, because I think he has to he has a couple of films lined up for this year, I think.
Yeah.
So
There's a movie with Alphonse Putran coming out, so yeah, high hopes.
Vikram might come. So let's see. So thank you guys for joining in, and for people who watched it till the end, thank you guys as well for the response last time, and hopefully for this time as well. So subscribe to the channel if you are new here for the content, and follow Farad's popcorn reviews as well for text reviews if you like detailed reviews. So I'll be giving the link in the description. And follow Sneha on Instagram if you want. Or she actually writes for Farad as well on his website, so you can follow her there. So thank you. Yes, thank you again for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.